and welcome to the EmpowerHer Play podcast. My name is Yasmin, this is Salma, this is Shafia, and today we have Yasmin Hussain, who is our Frenford and MSA coach for football.
Welcome, Yas.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yas.
Really looking forward to here, especially for Shafia.
Thank you, Thank you.
Seeing what you two been doing to her, always picking on her. I'm on her side today.
So Yasmin is Shafia's biggest fan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Biggest advocate.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
Finally, Shaf's
I
got
watch it
back up.
and I'm like, did Yash just do that? Did she fall for the trap? Poor Shaf, yeah.
The tears come running down, innit?
What,
Now
the
you're here.
tears?
Yes, isn't it the tears coming down as
Yeah,
well?
so when I knew you were coming on here, that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm supporting her.
Yes, he's all ready to go and beat these two
Yeah,
up.
see how brave you two are now, isn't it? Well, let's see how brave you two are now.
Look how quiet they're gone today, by the way.
Yeah. Best behaviour today. Yeah.
Best behaviour, yeah.
So Yasmin, you started with MSA, I think back 2017, when you saw an ad on Facebook for our female coaching course, right?
Yeah.
So, but tell us a bit before that about your journey in football. What was your experience like growing up?
So football was a big part of my life growing up. It was everything. I fell in love with football through my dad.
And who do you support?
Manchester United, definitely. Yeah. My dad's a big United fan. So at the time, it's like always watching football, and I was really close with my dad, still am, and he used to wait for me after to read him the teletext at the time. So I used to tell him it was 313 at the time, and see facts. Yeah, used to read the football gossip and translate to what it meant and stuff. So I fell in love through my dad, and I always watched it. So he always used to talk to me about it and stuff, and used to play football with my brothers or his friends, which was nice because they saw me didn't see me as a girl. I didn't even know the difference between being a boy or girl. It was just a sport that I was really grateful for it because I did think it was a boy sport, and I felt like, they're letting me play their sport sort of thing. Tried to get my friends to play it. They're like, oh no, it's a boy sport, you're a tomboy and stuff, but I played as long as I can. I think it was the age of 13, my dad came home, and it was quite late, so at that time we didn't have any, we used to go, mobile phones. So come home, eat my food, go outside, and then just before it gets dark, that's the time to come in. Yeah, so I came home late, and my dad was saying, you shouldn't now. I think it was about 13. And my dad said, I feel really uncomfortable. You go in with boys. Sometimes I'm with my brother. Sometimes he doesn't go. So it was just me on my own with his friends and stuff. All the boys from the local area used to get together, and we used to play near park area and on the streets and stuff. So not in a safe environment. It was just one of those. So my dad's like, being the only girl, 14, 15 boys and stuff.
But you must be like, Dad, they see me as one of the lads.
Yeah, I cried.
I'm one of the lads. They don't see me as a girl.
That's it. And at the time, because where I grew up in a safe environment, it was, one of those safe. Yeah, my mum used to keep the door open during summer.
Yeah, those days.
Everyone looked out for each other, sort of thing. So I didn't think I was any risk. There was no, rough people in the area or anything like that. So I felt I was safe. So I didn't understand what he was saying, but I knew it because obviously it was something. I didn't have an ambition. You never see girls playing football, women. It wasn't nothing on TV, so it wasn't something I wanted to do as a career or want to play professionally. It was just fun, enjoyed it. I had my own bike, used to ride bikes, used to play cricket. Any sports, we just, I was out all day, but it was just a football that brought me the most joy.
You miss those days, isn't it? Where you was quite carefree. And you didn't have to worry about, like nowadays, you don't even see kids playing on the street because they're so worried about their safety.
Yeah.
But in our time, it was just like, make sure you're home before dark. And they didn't know where we were going or what we were doing. And it was so much fun. I mean, I used to play football at school and I used to play, because we had a shop in Scotland, so there was a park area in the front. So I'd go and play over there, and they didn't used to bother. It's when I came into London, and then it was like, the community might say something.
Yeah, I mean,
to stop playing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was so much safer back then. We used to, there was no care or worry and stuff, and we didn't have phones or anything. But parents trusted us.
Yeah,
you can come out, but as long as it gets dark, and that, we knew that sun set was our curfew, like we've got to head back.
That's it.
And it's not like who you're going with or everything. We were able to go out, and
It
it's just
really that much safer back then, though, was it?
I think it was.
It was because
it was.
even
I don't think it was. You still had
cycles
kidnappings.
and
You still had.
Obviously, do you remember? It was rare.
And not only that,
But those kidnappings happened a lot. Those kids are still missing out there, you know. You guys got to be one of them.
I did, but I don't know. But it was, but it's not even that. When we used to play, there was like 1 or 2 houses that had cars. Now every house has like 2 cars, 3. We used to play easily on that road. My parents still live in the same road, and I look, and if my kids were there, there'd be cars every minute now. It's a cul-de-sac I kind of live on, but it was no cars, and you used to play on the streets for hours, and you say one car and you'll just move away. Now you wouldn't even imagine that. You know, there's a lot of cars, a lot of more. You know, it definitely has changed. I mean, maybe where I grew up, we didn't have. You know, it was a very closed area. Really, you know, community. Close. We weren't many. There weren't many Asians, but it was a very, you know, looking out for my mum used to give the curries to the neighbours. It was a very community. They used to give my mum homemade coleslaw and potato salads. You know, that's what it used to be.
What is this? They don't taste too good.
My neighbour, he always says to mum,
Halusatni without any flavour.
But they used to, even now, like the man that still lives there, he'll ask the mum, "You cooking some curry? Can we have some more?" My mum will get, you know. But it was that, you know, sort of thing
that was not a fair trade, you know.
Called some for a curry. It was. I mean, it was a great where I grew up. I mean, I never had any racism or anything, and there was only about 4 Asian families where I grew up. Even now, we lived in a quite more the affluent parts of, you know, my dad's.
Where are you from in Manchester?
East Disbury.
Oh.
So that is quite, you know, so when my dad, he struggled, but he wanted to be in an area where we were raised, you know, well and stuff. So at that time, he was like, it was tough for him. He had, we originally lived in Scotland, Edinburgh, and he was attacked. He had a restaurant, and he came home. My mum got stones thrown at her into the school runs, and he said he had enough. He's like, you know, they put a brick through our window. His restaurant started on fire, and then I think that was the moment he said, no, he sold everything, and he brought the house where we lived in, and with everything he had.
But you said so he's moved from Scotland to Manchester.
Yes, I was born in Manchester.
It wasn't a very Asian place either, though.
No,
so
but
was he not worried?
Yeah. So it was. There was racism. We lived in Edinburgh. There was where we were a lot of racism. There weren't many Asian families there, but obviously it was for him. It was a business opportunity. But yeah, my mum got stones thrown at her. We got racial abuse at us. So I was born in Scotland. I was 6 years old, and we moved to Manchester. My dad's so we moved to Disbury, and then we've been living there. But that's completely different to what it was in Edinburgh. I mean, I can't remember all that, but I can remember just one day our house got robbed, and it was tough. God. Yeah, it was tough. But
Manchester back in the days, because I was born in Manchester, in especially Eccles and Salford, that was a real BNP place. So my dad had a restaurant down in Eccles, and the amount of racism and that he faced as well. But then they were scared of him as well. Because he used to give as good as he got.
Yeah.
Salford was really racist. So your dad kept away from that sort of area where it was quite prevalent, the BNP and the racism around that area. So you moved to
So where we was, East Disbury, it was more and slightly, they're all what you call the more bodro, the more the more higher. So they were really like, you know, and we fitted even like my dad's been there for how long since I was like over 4 years.
Oh wow.
That's not 30 years. Over 30 years, because I was 6 when we moved here. Over 30 years, same place. But it's a great community, and like I say, we grew up there. I was playing football with, you know, all these people. We didn't know even. I didn't have any racism. We are playing with, you know, whites, non-whites, Muslim. We're all diverse, you know, all the people coming around.
Did your dad play football as well?
No, he didn't play football. But even I was a big fan of it. He'll watch it, and he always called me up, and then that's the thing that I always talk to him about. He'll ask me how I am, and then he'll ask me, so he now, especially now doing that, he thinks I've got all the answers. Dad, I don't know. It's funny.
You stopped playing at 13, sorry.
No, go.
You stopped playing at 13, and then how did you feel? You must have missed it.
I did. But I didn't play it, but I've always been connected with football. So even my husband knows that. He used to say, oh my God, you're obsessed, because I used to, like, if you go to a wedding, I've got them, you know, it's a scores on. And
maybe.
my husband wants to go.
It's like, you're not not talking to anyone. I was like, no, I don't want to talk to anyone.
Yeah, I'm like that.
It's not me, United playing.
Yeah, so that's it. Because I said, I'm checking the other teams to do it. My husband used to say to me, let's go out on Saturday. And I was like, football's on Saturdays, and it's family day, and let's do something together. I'm like, football. And he goes, women like to go out. When I'm telling you, like, the football's on.
And is he not into football?
He wasn't. He slowly got into it.
Okay.
He's more into cricket. He loved his cricket.
Yeah.
But then
He supports the enemy, right? It's Liverpool.
he supports Liverpool. But
Enemy. Oh, is it Liverpool?
yeah, but he
Bring
got
it on.
influence. That's why I say he's not a real fan. He got influence because all his friends support Liverpool, so he had to choose someone. He's not going to choose a wife's team, is he?
Of course not. What's the fun in that?
No, otherwise, you like your wife's team, why do you then That's it. So he's like, I choose Liverpool. And I'm like, but my kids are United fans, so you couldn't win them over.
No.
Yeah.
So how did you get back into football? Or, like, taking part?
So when I moved from Manchester to London, I had no friends, still don't, babe.
Yeah, you do. You got so many friends. I'm more than enough.
You are actually more than enough. Yeah, so I didn't have much friends. I had my kids quite young, and I felt like I was spending a lot of time just with them. So before I got married, I did a lot, being the oldest female girl in the family. I had a lot of responsibilities. I was looking after my other siblings. I felt that I've never done anything for myself. It's just, and then got married. After I got married, within a year, I fell pregnant and had my daughter Mediha, who's actually 21 tomorrow. She's 21 tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
So I had her young. It comes with its perks. Having family young, now I can focus on myself.
Yeah.
But I did feel lonely, and then after Nyla, my youngest was 6, and I thought, I feel like I've not done anything for myself, and I felt lonely. My husband was at work. I felt like I had no friends. I need to do something, and the first thing that came to mind is, you know what? Let me try and find football. Wow. So whilst trying to find somewhere to play, that's when I came across, because I think I was following Muslim Mama Fitness or something, and as a recommended page, Muslim Sports, and I looked at it and I thought, looked in it, I thought, it is Ilford, so it's not far, and that's when the advert came up, and then I felt like, well, it's like, what's meant to be, we'll find
was
you.
Was football set up at this point, or were you looking for a coach?
We did have it casually, but the coach that we had didn't understand our community at all. So she used to come from Enfield, so it was quite far.
And non-Muslim, I'm guessing.
Non-Muslim. Okay. And then when we break for namaz and that, she wouldn't understand that we would have to break for namaz. She was just very much, she was a good coach, a lot of experience, but she was very much like, this is the skills I have. But these women haven't played football, so you've got to attack it on a different basis, right? You've got to talk to them like they're little kids, because this is the first time they're playing football. Mm-hmm. So she didn't get that. So that's why I thought, let me try and work with the governing body. So I worked with London Sport, Sporting Equals, Essex FA, and see whether or not we could do a tailored coaching course just for our Muslim women.
So you put a post up, did lots of people get in touch?
So then we had a class of about 16.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, there was about 16.
Was it the first time you met, Yash and Yaz and Yaz?
Yeah. Well, of course, I didn't even meet then.
I don't think we
No, I didn't meet Yash until about...
Reha, isn't it, was on the sport?
I didn't even meet Yash until about 2 years later.
Who else was on that course? Samra?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
She can't remember.
I know Reha was on it, and the rest, I don't know.
Well, there was quite a few on there. Oh, it feels like such a long time ago.
It was 7 years.
Wow,
7 years.
Walking in for the first time thinking, oh my God, I'm doing something quite big. Not just going to play as well. I'm going in to become a coach.
I mean, at the time, I didn't think how impact it had. Like I say, I went in there wanting to make a difference. When I started my coaching journey with the boy, I thought this mindset's not changed. People don't want to play. It's the same as barriers I faced. So I kind of doubted it. Am I doing the right thing? Because Frenford didn't have a girl set up, or they had one session.
Partnered with them until a couple of years later.
It was a indoor session, ladies, but there was no girls. I thought, does people want it? Is it just me and So what do I make it want a difference if no one wants it? So I did have but then I thought, even if it's 1 or 2 girls, or even if it's the Monday sessions that Yash was doing at the time, that was currently there, even if I did that, that's, for me, that was more than enough. If I can give some, even if it's for 5-6 women opportunity to play, just being there, that was, for me, that was amazing.
Yeah.
So I went in with that mentality, but the scale it got to didn't imagine, you know.
So tell us this game.
Tell us. You have,
so that's 2017.
It's amazing journey.
She's been very modest. The things that Yasmin has achieved.
Yes.
You know, she's an inspiration. She's a role model.
She is, absolutely.
For many women, not just within our football club, but beyond our football club and up and down the country. So she's an amazing woman. And, you know, listen to her story.
She's an OG, man. She's an OG.
No, but the thing is, there's always thing with me is I always have this sense of guilt, because behind me there's so many people and I'm kind of the face of it and doing it, but the people that are behind me never get the spotlight. And every time I get, that's why I feel like, do you know what, I always have to talk about, you know, the Yash giving me the opportunity, Irfan, Neil, Sharon, those are the people, you know, the players. Yeah, it was something that they had the vision. We kind of worked together to make it happen. So when I get all the spotlight, I feel like, wait, I need to drag them on it. Because like I say, success will not happen if people don't believe in you or give you the opportunity. And that's just hopefully my journey showcases that. It's, you know, I had the passion, I had the belief, I had the dream, but it was working with others that made it happen. And yeah, sometimes I say I'm the face of it, I'm doing all that, but going to the schools, everyone sees me as that role model, it's getting it. But once these girls come, it's the other coaches that are creating the environment at the club that they stay. They're not staying just for me. They're staying for the Zainers, the Schiffers, everyone else that are creating that environment. And then, you know, Neil making me go in there. Yes, I got the funding, going to the schools. So that's...
So can you tell us, tell our viewers what you're up to now. So you've gone into this coaching course, and what's happened over 7 years?
What's happened?
Come on.
What's not happened?
So I started off coaching a couple of different places at the time.
And were you loving it?
I was enjoying it. I was enjoying it.
She was very challenged because we threw her in at the deep end. So she used to do the women's session at ours, but then you would start boys, right?
So the MSA was the only one. So Frenford had boys.
Yeah.
So remember, FA level 1 teaches you about coaching, but doesn't teach you what football sessions
theory,
or anything,
but not the practical.
It doesn't even teach you the theory. It just teaches you what is a good coach. So the rapport, you speak, but it doesn't teach you like, okay, here's football, how to deliver a session. So I've come with. Remember, I played at 13 normal football, not in an organised sport. You don't even know the rules.
Not
just
in a club or anything.
Not a club or anything. So we didn't even know anything. So I've suddenly gone from just never being coached ever to now becoming a coach that doesn't even know what part to kick the. You know, I just kick it. You're gone in. Yes, gone in.
So I'm like you.
So you were coaching for boys.
That
must have been interesting.
And I had to cover someone. So I'm one of the. Had to give my word, so I hate going back on my word. It was an awful first day experience. I hated it, but I was like, I've committed now, I can't pull out. MSA Friday session's brilliant because that was a bunch of women, give a ball, kick. It doesn't challenge me as a coach, but that's what you needed. That's what you needed, and when you start your journey, you didn't want all the session plans. All it was, there you are, teams. It was facilitating, but the women are having fun, and that's.
So what's the age group of the boys that you're doing?
I think it was under 10s. Okay. Under 10s a session, and I was covering another coach. I was thrown in the deep end, and I felt like I was going to cry.
What happened?
It was, I didn't know anything. I was like, and then
and these are boys who think they know it all as well.
It's not just about football, is it? You have to know how to control the kids, isn't it?
So it's like there was. I think at the time I said the coach I was with, I'm not ready. I had to say it. I said, do you know what? Bismillah, I just have to say it. I said, I'm not ready. I thought I'm just supporting, helping the coach. Do what you first do, not deliver a session.
But were the boys a bit like, oh, there's a woman in here?
Especially the Asian men. They're like, that's what was more harder.
Hijab as well.
So they've never seen someone like this is me, coming in, and then one, I lacked confidence. Two, I actually didn't know anything about how to coach. So I don't blame them to looking at me. So there I'm like, what to do? So I didn't enjoy the experience, and I thought, how do I do it? And then at the time the coach goes, can you do next week? And I thought, God, no. And they couldn't do it. I was like, then I thought, what I've just done this week, I kind of redo it. And I really felt uncomfortable. And I think they realised.
But are you glad you did that? You went out of your comfort zone. Like that first week, you thought, I'm going home and I'm never coming back. But you came back.
I came back because that's the person I am. You put me in, the dogs have to stay out. No, don't bite me no more. That's the thing.
But are you glad? Look, sometimes we do the difficult things and we're like, I'm so glad I did that. I didn't appreciate it then, but I appreciate it now. Or you're like, no, hell no, I wish I still didn't do it.
But that was part of the journey, right? Part of becoming a better coach.
With me, I say, I wouldn't change anything. So, I mean, I'm not sure what I got at the time, apart from crying when I got home.
Oh, bless
Our
you.
players, do you remember when we tried to get them into playing football five-a-side? They didn't want to go. You had to persuade them so much.
I had to. And
to try and get 5 ladies to go and play.
It was hard because I just had my surgery at the time. Remember, I had my surgery and the doctors told me I couldn't play. And I can remember how it was, if you don't play, I'm not going to play. And then the other one's like, if she's not playing, and then they won't play unless I play. The doctors told me not to play.
Oh, my God.
Again, I went against it because if I didn't do that, then we wouldn't have a team. Yeah, we did. Is it November? I had my surgery in October, and they said that you shouldn't be playing any sports. And I said to Reha at the time, I can't. The doctors told me not to, and I felt a guilt. If I now don't do it, she's not going to play. She's not going. It's a ripple.
We're not going to have a team.
That first game was such a high, wasn't it?
It was, and I thought, oh God, but luckily I think
Did you guys win?
I think I got substituted or something. I was the worst player, so luckily it saved me, because imagine getting injured after not having my wound healed.
Yeah.
You know, but I said to my husband, the amount of lies I had to tell. No, the doctor said I can play. It's like, you're supposed to be recovering, because I had an open wound, so it was quite dangerous to do it. But if I didn't do
I love how she laughs about it. She's still on painkillers.
And then he's like, you should. And I asked another doctor. I went to the doctor, so that's what I'm saying. But this people don't see the sacrifice that had to be made. You know, because that was a risk. I had an open wound, so if I fell or tripped,
Oh my God.
that could be, you know. But then it
And
was.
we do not recommend that.
No,
anyone.
don't recommend it. But yeah, so it was, and it was convincing, finally convince them, and then it's like, oh, I can't play. Then I thought, do you know what? Then I'm not playing. Then, and you know, women are, if you play, I play. They need that. I think that's
the sisterhood.
Yeah,
We can't even go to toilet without holding each other's hands, you know what I mean?
So that's how it happened. And then I can remember, even like I used to go, because my parents didn't live in Manchester, I used to go every half term to Manchester. I couldn't go Manchester because I have a play to play with, you know, and I like letting the team down, and it's like, God, you know. But it is. But then I think that when people say, you know, oh, what's your ambition? You're gonna leave us? I can't leave Frenford and MSA. I don't want to, because the amount of the journey I've been on and the sacrifice I've made, only I will know, you know, you can tell and stuff like that. And I thought, I'll do stuff on the side to develop myself and stuff, but I can't. I want to still some capacity work with that, because it's too much. I put too much in it to now just walk away from it. And I just feel like if I did, what if someone else
collapses?
Collapses. Or you know, it's all
Hard
work.
work.
Hard work. So that's what I'm saying. Unless I find someone better than me.
I was saying to our trustee, I was saying, if we had 10 Yasmins, MSA would have achieved so much. Like so much more than what we're achieving now. We've achieved a lot, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah,
But if we had 10 Yasmins that took it, every challenge I gave her, even though she wasn't comfortable, she took it with both hands.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like I say, my issue, I can't say no. And even, I think that's a big one. I can't say no, but then I kind of say, okay, even putting myself in situations where I have to do things that I'm really uncomfortable, even like speaking things that I don't even I mean, I'm getting better at it, but that's
Bloody
one
amazing,
of,
man.
I hate doing it.
Come
but,
on, I remember your first interview to now. Wow, mashallah.
that's what I'm saying. The more I'm doing it, it's getting better. But like I say, if anyone calls me up, I'm like, yes, all right, okay, I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it.
So how's your dad's reaction been?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
I had a funny conversation actually when I went to Manchester in August. It was funny. So my dad goes to me, I can't believe you got so far with lying. I said, what do you mean, Dad? I said, lying? I don't lie. What's it talking about? He goes, you tell everyone that you used to play. Well, you never played for a club. I said, Dad, I'm talking about street football. He thought in my journey I played for a year. And I said, it's taken you this year to confront me. That I lied. He goes, oh, didn't he? I said, yes, Dad. He goes, yes, you're talking about.
It's not a lie, Dad.
Yeah. So he's assuming my journey I'm talking about. I used to play professionally.
You've had to,
My dad goes, when did he play? You know, and he's thinking up from playing a professional, club like you might night. I said, no, Dad, there's grassroots clubs. There's clubs.
Your poor dad probably sitting on Photoshop thinking, let me make some photos. So they're going to come knocking on my door saying, can we interview the dad? And he's photoshopping all these pictures, putting you in a club.
So my dad, it was funny, I couldn't laugh. I said, Dad, did you actually think I would talk? And I said, what do you, so he's, when I'm talking about my journey, he's, I started playing and my dad said, he's assuming it's a professional club. And he's taken that, I said, 7 years to tell me, you might. And I goes, oh, then I was like, yeah, because okay, yeah. But that was funny. But I think, very proud. I think when I had the BT, he was recording, you know,
Bless
and
him,
stuff.
proud dad.
He's WhatsApping, sharing, you know.
all his mates and all the rest
so
of
he
it.
shares it. So
Amazing.
I mean, he's always been, you know, proud, but for him, look from their point of view as well, it must have been a tough decision, you know. Your daughter loves something so much, and having to take that, as in, at the time I didn't understand, but being a parent myself, I now understand how hard it must have been. Imagine your daughter coming home every day having, you know, fun, exciting, and then you have that conversation with her, you can't do it. I cried. That's not fair. Why can't I do it? So does he have some... I can, you know, your whole typical...
The crime work.
Yeah, you know, my dad's like, you know, and then he goes, okay, then if it's in school, find it in school. And I joined netball, but he didn't give the same. You know, he's anything that's in a school setting, you can do, you know. But football was in a girls' setting, I couldn't find
But does he
anything.
have a little bit of guilt now? Does he think, oh my God, if I didn't stop her then, things might be different now?
But do you know what? It's a tough one because I'm out of the kids. I'm more of what would say a bit of a rebel. Not a rebel. I was out all the time and stuff.
That's why you get with shags, isn't it?
I know, man.
Here's the thing,
Rebels.
because I was with a lot of boys at the time, because I love football. My connection was with the boys, so I'm like a lot of boys all the time. Like, you know, and he's thinking, oh God, this one's gonna. God knows what's gonna happen to this one, especially being the oldest daughter. I'm gonna protect my name.
Yeah.
Enjoy, man.
So you know, and it was, but like a lot of people say when I talk about, you know, getting married young, I say that was one of the best things that happened to me, because I felt like I got a lot, and being so, you know, young, husband being young, I had that, you know, what you say, freedom sort of thing, because it became to so right. Because I was getting in trouble at school, I did have a bit of a rebel, and then being around boys all the time and stuff. So from their point, I do understand. Yeah. From a parent point of view, you want your daughter to...
You do what you think is best. You do what you
so
think is best.
they thought that was because at that age you get influenced quickly, isn't it? I got the amount of influence I got. I was like, you know, because I can remember in maths I was at the bottom set. Clever, so I'm with all the naughty kids in maths. So I ended up being naughty. You know, it was you. But then in science I was higher, so I was one of those, you know. And I can remember in maths we got in trouble and got a phone call home, and my dad's right, you know, came home and he's like, first ever phone call he got for any of his children was mine. And he was like, I've never. Oh my God, I was in year 8, I think.
I bet that story still gets brought up in family gatherings.
God, yeah, everyone says, like my sisters, no one knows that side of you, do they?
Yeah.
No, they
The
don't.
hidden side of you.
We need to have a conversation with Uncle, don't we? We need to get the lowdown.
But tell us now about your journey from that first session where we threw you into the deep end to now how you're leading our club as the lead football coach for women and girls, and how the FA's now supported you and what you're doing for the FA as well.
Okay, so at the moment, so when we started like with 5 girls. I think going into the schools and visibility, I think the social media, it just suddenly took off.
Wow.
And then it was me on my own, and then I think Schiffer at the time. So
what you doing, coaching in schools?
No, so that came a bit later. So we just coached, and then I think the social media. So remember, this is our first Muslim team in the league.
Yeah, visibly Muslim.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and then we had so we've not had... People saw that, heard about it, and we had more and more joining. And then it's like, wow, so we just had a women's setup, not a girl setup. And then we thought, well, let's get a girl setup. At this time, I was doing with Schiffer at the time, so we just had one age group. It became a bit hard. I had demand, girls want to play, and it was just me and Schiffer at the time doing it. Thought, do you know what, we couldn't do it, so we needed coaches. So that's when FA came in, through Sharon. We did the FA level 1, which we got our players to do the course. Zaina, Maria, them did the course, and then now coaches at the club. And that's how we were able to, because, you know, I couldn't do everything. And then at the time, still got kids. So I was giving up my evenings, and I had MSA, then, you know, trying to, it was hard to manage it all, and I couldn't do it whilst we were trying to expand it. it wasn't working, and that I can remember it was scattered everywhere. And then I had that conversation and said, rather than having it scattered, can I just bring it all in one day? And that's when we had the Monday female setup day, where we had all the day age groups just in one day. Otherwise I was doing a Monday, I was on a Thursday, team on a Wednesday training. It was like, you know, for that 1 hour, 2 hours, it you know,
takes
it was
up the time.
it was. So we moved it to there. So then I got involved with the FA. So they heard about what I was doing at getting more female coaches. So there I was on the pilot with the FA for Community Champion. Went to another club, Smart FC in Croydon. They didn't have a woman set up, girl set up, but they had girls interested, a Muslim club. So I went over there, shared my journey, and got them to kind of do the coaching badges. And now they have a really good, alhamdulillah, girl set up, and that's in their community now. So they've offered that girl what we are doing at Frenford in Croydon. And then I just go around different clubs helping them support their club and try and grow their girl set up by getting more mums, players involved into coaching. So I do the Frenford stuff, I do the FA stuff, and now I'm on the FA mentee program. That's for more of my development. So I'm getting onto inshallah UEFA B in January. So that's for me to develop myself.
Don't just say UEFA B. How significant and what an achievement that is.
Yeah, definitely. Because even when I did my UEFA C, before that
Explain
I was like,
what UEFA is. Sorry, because
this means
so that's like the coaching badges. So it's FA level 1, which I did with the Ash, then UEFA C, which was a level 2, which I completed 2 years ago, and I've just gone on to this one. So this one is really hard to get onto, and it is basically next level, quite high. Yeah. So
what's the what do you want to do with it? Where are you taking this?
Because
me, you've come so far in 7 years.
Mashallah,
wow.
But
I can
you know,
see
I'm not getting younger. I'm quite old.
Don't talk about age.
We're not old, yes. Don't worry, we're not old.
I'm far behind you.
Yeah, we're not old.
No, but you know, it's not stopped you. And like we've talked about this and how actually age has just given us more opportunities and whatever. And actually we've embraced things and grabbed life with it. And I don't think you're nowhere near stopping.
No.
So if in 7 years I'm thinking, wow.
Yes.
Come on, what's coming?
Well, for me, my ambition is to be the best coach I can be. I don't want to be one of those known because, or anyone thinking, oh, she's got the opportunity because she's a Muslim and she's a hijabi and she's an Asian and she's a tick box. I want to be the best, and be known for the best, and that everything else will come after.
Inshallah, yes.
But a lot of people with me, when I enter these spaces, that's one of my things is feel like I need to prove myself.
I'm not exactly. And it's 100%. We have to give 210%, isn't it?
We hear this again and again.
And I have these. I mean, I always talk about positive because I'm a positive person, but I've had some really tough times. You know, I went onto a course and it was. How many was it? 39 males, 1 female, me. Wow. So there's not even a female, and then they've never seen. They're all white, and there's not even a diverse person in there. So I've walked in there, sat down. They're all sitting, tables are filling, my one's by itself, and you know me being me on myself, thinking,
you should have called me.
No friends. And I go to these, and for me, because I'm actually, once I get comfortable, I actually like engaging with people, talking to people and stuff. So when I go to these events, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make friends, talk to them. No one will sit at my table, and then the person that spoke to me went around the table and this, I think, what grassroots coach, what club are you coaching, what you club, and then when he come to me, it's like, so why are you here?
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, well,
are you in the wrong room?
Yeah, and I felt like excluded from that conversation, and I just said to him the same reason as you're here.
Good on you, good on you, well done.
I didn't know what to say, so and the whole 2 hours I'm with my notebooks.
So one person talks to you and says that, like,
and then
but that's the problem with sports in general, football, but sports in general. We feel so out of place. And that's why to see it, I know it's a cliche, but if you see it, you can be it. Yeah. And that's why your role is so, so important. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yes.
You've been an inspiration to me.
Me too.
And
all
to
of us.
everyone around you. So, keep doing what you're doing, and well done, alhamdulillah. You've made a really positive impact on so many lives, so many girls, so many women, so many clubs. And we have to thank the FA and obviously Irfan and Neil as well for their support and seeing and sharing the vision that we had, because I remember when we first spoke about it, we were like, are you having a laugh?
Because at the time it was just a vision, wasn't it?
And he was like, are you sure you're going to get Muslim women playing? And I was like,
Alhamdulillah,
we will.
Especially outside,
it's important
wasn't
to
it?
see. It was
and
outside.
you know what, no matter how hard your route is, you're making it easier.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
so that's what
Yes.
when I went into that, I came out of it, said, well, next person goes, it won't be as hard for them. So that's so I'm saying I put myself.
Thank you for
put
myself, my daughter, and for all the
absolutely.
girls
that's
that
what
are
it's
coming
about, isn't
behind,
it? Prime Police make a change.
Make
If
it
that's-
happen.
even if it's me that have to do the hard stuff, at least I go back thinking and made it one step easier for the next person. And
Absolutely.
that's
Well
what it's all
done.
about.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done, yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
for
It's
coming
all
on
right.
today.
Thank you.
Superhero.
Yes, she is.
We're in
I
all
didn't pick on you. Didn't pick on you.
Did you see that? Did you see that? Yeah. Did you see how well behaved she is?
protected you well there.
She did. Well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching the Empower Her Play podcast. You can catch all of our previous episodes on all good platforms. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Wow.
Oh, look.
Wow, it's really showing off now.
See? Next time.